The vast majority of golf instruction these days is based around hitting the ball better, hitting it straighter and hitting it further. And that's absolutely fine, but can on-course strategy save us more shots? Recently I decided to offer some course strategy instruction, which is something I think is quite lacking within the coaching industry. It's all about kind of how you're swinging the club and how you're hitting the ball. And that's absolutely fine, but if you're already hitting the ball fairly well, maybe course strategy is what's going to save you some more shots. I'm going to set up 2 on-course scenarios and talk you through the thought processes that I'm going through when I'm making shot choices. And I'm usually breaking those down into an aggressive and a defensive play. Right, okay, first on-course scenario. This is the 4th at Pebble Beach, uphill to a pretty tight pin because the pin's right at the front of the green. There's not much margin for error left and right. And you don't really want to be short here left and right because that's going to cause you all sorts of problems. It's going to be a really awkward green side shot. But if you get it flag high and beyond and miss a little left and right, it's not going to be too bad because you're going to have a little bit more green to work with. So we're going to go with the aggressive play first. This is going to be a full wedge for me, 130, slightly uphill, fractionally downwind, which I'm not sure that's going to make all that much of a difference, but I'm going to be pitching the ball front of the green, flag high if I absolutely rip it. Can't really afford to miss left and right because that's going to put me in a very awkward position short. I've got to hit this straight. If I miss strike it and hit it straight, it's not too bad either. Bit left this. Might be okay. Ooh. No, not ideal. That's going to be quite an awkward shot from there. Got to hit it straight around. This one's leaking a bit to the right, but I think it's got the legs because I've struck that really well. Wow. Didn't expect myself to be able to get the ball that far back with the pitching wedge, 31 feet. I'm not going to really 3-putt from there that often. I'm fairly comfortable with long putts, and that's why the less aggressive approach I think is something that I would probably maybe take here, but we'll find out when we hit the rest of the shots. Right, shot number 3 of 4 with the aggressive approach. He's right at it, I think. Sit. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I can only really put this down to that banana that I had for lunch, but 28 feet, just on the edge of the green, I'm going to be pretty happy with that. But I'm not happy, am I? Because I'm meant to be aggressive. I want to get this really, really close. Let's just take a fraction off this next one. This has the potential to be close. Oh yeah. Oh, I love that. That's what I've got in mind when I'm being aggressive. 4 feet. That's a great birdie opportunity. Now let's go for the centre of the green, the more conservative approach. I think this option gives me a little bit more leeway missing left and right because the green side shot is going to be a little bit easier because there's going to be more green to work with. So I'm going to be hitting this somewhere in the vicinity of about 140-ish, I suspect, in and around there, uphill. So it's not a full 9-iron. Shave a little bit off this. Strike that great, I've got to be honest, but the result's going to be okay. Yeah, that's not too bad. It's going to be 30 feet putt. I'm going to be reasonably happy with that if I'm playing defensive. I like this. Go, I'll give it a club twirl there, didn't I? But yeah, that's okay. That's okay. It's long enough, so I've got plenty of green to work with my green side chip. I'm going to be pretty comfortable of getting up and down there most of the time. Now these shots that are just kind of missing the green here, but are long, if I'd have missed these or hit them to the left as much with the wedge, I'd have been given a fairly difficult bunker shot. So it's one of the advantages of taking a little bit more club in this situation. Again, this is a bit left, needs to sit. Oof, it's gone a little bit longer still. That'll be a bit more of a more difficult up and down, but again, plenty of green to work with. Right, last shot with the conservative approach. I'm going to try and make sure that I don't hit this one as far to the left. I hit it left again now. Sit. That's more like it. Up towards the centre part of the green, lengthwise. 27 feet, Again, going to be pretty happy taking 2 putts from there. So that's scenario number 1. Let me know in the comments box below which strategy you thought worked out best for me there. On to scenario number 2. This is 16 at Pebble Beach. I've got a pin which is really tucked into the back right corner with a green that slopes from back to front, and it slopes from right to left as I'm looking at it hitting into the green. Now I've got 160 to that pin. I'm going to hit a 9 iron and try and land it in around the 150 mark, let it roll out to about 155 into the centre of the green, and that's going to give me a very simple 2-putt. Potentially I might hole 1 or 2 of those for birdie. What we don't want to do on this hole is miss long. We don't really want to miss pin high and right, and we don't want to miss long and right either, because that's going to give pretty much an impossible up and down, to be honest, because there's virtually no green to work with, and that green is going to be sloping away from us. So hitting into the centre of the green, here's a sort of reserved approach. Let's start with that. So it's a 9 iron, pretty full, centre of the green. Yeah, this is pretty much exactly what I'd have in mind. That's worked out pretty well. Struck that well. Again, it's the banana again. It's gone a little bit further than I'd expect. Yeah, happy with that one. Yeah, perfectly in the centre of the green. Very happy with that. It's going to be a fairly simple 2-putt for me. Long putts don't particularly worry me. I don't 3-putt that often, he says. Shot number 3. Be a fraction further to the left, which to be honest isn't a bad place to miss this, because there's acres of green to work with from there, chipping and putting. Not a great shot, but it's not disastrous. It's not going to lead to a cricket score. Right, final attempt. Let's see if we can find the centre of the green again. Ooh, I haven't struck this very well. But I've kind of got away with it. That's going to be a fairly simple chip and a putt from there, but didn't particularly catch that well at all. I dare say if I was being aggressive and hit it to the right to that extent, the up and down would have been a lot more tricky. So let's get a little bit more fill the thrill. Let's take an 8 iron, which is a little bit too much club. So I'm going to have to take a little bit off this, and I'm going to try and fade it into the pin as well to try and counteract that right to left camber on the green. So this is an all or nothing shot really. It's quite dangerous to the scoring potential, because if I go very long or very right, the up and down is pretty much impossible. Fade, it is fading. This is great. Go on, get him. Oh, didn't hit it that well, it was a bit heely, but I'm going to take that result. 17 feet uphill. We'd like to think that we're going to make 1 or 2 of those out of 10. Oh, this is very aggressive. Oh, hit the green. Hit the green, sit. Not too bad. It's missed the green long and right, which I said was disastrous, but it's only just long and just right, so that's absolutely fine. I'd feel pretty comfortable getting up and down there. Right, same shot, just not as far to the right this time. Oh, that's further right. Oh dear. Oh, members bounce. Okay, not too bad, not too bad. That's the sort of niggly little shot around the green that I don't particularly like, though if it was in a bunker I'd be happy as Larry, but sort of niggly little shots like that around the green isn't really my forte. We've got to factor these things into our shot choices, haven't we, where our strengths and weaknesses lie. If you're a great greenside bunker player, that first scenario maybe wouldn't faze you at all, just be aggressive all of the time. If you're a poor greenside bunker player, you'd maybe want to hit the ball more into the centre of the green. This is talking about the first scenario. And if you're sort of a bit yippy in and around the greens, this scenario, I'd probably be taking the safer option all day long, really. But then again, it depends on the situation you're in as well. Are you playing medal? Are you playing Stableford? Is it match play? Are you playing well? Are you playing poorly? Are you just out there having a laugh in the sunshine on your own? These things are going to determine which strategy you take. Right, shot number 4, let's get this one really close. Struck well, oh, a bit too much fade on it. Oh dear, sit, sit, sit. Okay, not too bad. Not too bad. I'd be happy to get that up and down, I'm sure I would. So again, like before, let me know in the comments box below which strategy you believe was better for me in that scenario. So as you can see, there's a lot more to this game than just kind of aiming at the flag and hitting it at it, which is kind of the approach I tended to adopt most of the time. And now I'm thinking a lot more about it, I seem to be making more sensible shot choices when out on the golf course. And I really think this is something that's going to help the player that hits the ball pretty well, hits it fairly straight, strikes it well, is happy with that. I think this is kind of where those shots being shaved off is going to come from. I don't think it's going to be from hitting the ball 5 yards further or just a little bit straighter. I don't really think that's going to have a massive influence on score. I think the strategy that you take is going to. So the conclusion of this video is just to think about it more. Just think about the shots a lot more. And obviously you don't want to be stood in the middle of the fairway getting kind of log tables out and algorithms and things and making it a bit like Bryson DeChambeau, because you might be playing with people that don't want to take 5 hours to get around the golf course. But I just think you've got to take maybe just 5-10 seconds and just sort of analyse the shot that you've got at hand and sort of quickly pick the best strategy for you. And again, that strategy depends on many things, doesn't it? Are you hitting the ball well that day? Are you not hitting the ball well? Are you playing in a Stableford medal? We talked about this earlier. And do you need to protect a good score? Are you going down the sort of last few holes and need to protect a score? Are you going to be a little bit more defensive? Are you wanting the score to be better, therefore becoming more aggressive? It really is situation and player dependent, really. If you're not a particularly good chipper from just off the green, firing at tucked pins maybe isn't the best strategy. So I hope you maybe got one or two things from this video. Maybe it'll get you thinking a little bit differently out on the golf course, and it might save you a few shots. If you're wanting to book a course strategy lesson with me and you're somewhere reasonably close to me and you can travel, you can do so by following the link in the description of this video. If you've enjoyed the video, please like, share and subscribe. Press that big red button. I'll see you again in the next one.